Hello and welcome to www.lostboys.com. My name is Chris McGuigan. You're listening to podcast number 142 on August the 27th, 2012. Well, this week I catch up with Iain and Jo, who have organised the Celtic Convention in Blackpool. And you've heard many times before in the Lost Boys about us at conventions in Las Vegas and San Francisco and places in North America. So we thought it was only appropriate that now that I'm back home, we'll have a wee chat about some of the conventions going on here in the UK. So after that, we have a little chat about the game at the weekend and look forward to the European match against Helsingborg on Wednesday night. Hope you enjoy it. Here we go. Okay, so it is August the 27th, and I'm delighted to say I have two people on the line tonight. I have Iain and I have Jo, who have both organised the Celtic Convention in Blackpool. Good evening, folks. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good. So, Jo, you're quite honoured because we don't have very many females ever on Lost Boys Podcast. It's something I always bleat on about that we don't have enough. So I'm delighted that you've joined us tonight.
It's a pleasure to be on.
Aye, flattery will get you everywhere, Jo. All right, lads. So, with Lost Boys, we've done a load of conventions in the past. You know, we've broadcast live from Las Vegas, and we've been to San Francisco and all the rest of it. And now that I've made it home, I thought it was only appropriate that we should sort of concentrate on some of the conventions a wee bit closer to home. So, Iain, you kick us off. Why a convention in Blackpool of all places?
Well, basically, the answer to that was why not. There was nothing really being done before. So we kind of started off as a bit of a laugh, and then it kind of snowballed, grew legs, and here we are a few weeks away from it happening.
And is this the first one you've done?
Yep. Total greenhorn on that.
And Jo, why Blackpool?
As Iain said, it started off being a bit of probably a Twitter joke, and then it was really the idea of, well, why not Blackpool? We've never had a UK convention. I've done America, I've done Spain, I've done Canada. Why not have something in the UK, and why not Blackpool?
So just to get us in the mood, neither of the two of you with those two accents, I'm guessing, are from Blackpool? I'm going to stretch my neck out here and say maybe one Glasgow, one Edinburgh. Is that about right? Is that not far from the correct answer?
Yeah. Back on.
All right. Okay. So tell us a wee bit about yourselves first. Jo, you go first. Tell us a wee bit about yourself, and you mentioned a few conventions there as well. Just before we get into talking about the convention itself, tell us something about you.
Avid Celtic fan. Love my boys. We'll do at least one trip a year, something Celtic orientated. Normally conventions, wherever they are. And probably the one thing everybody knows about me is I love Neil Lennon.
Okay, you're welcome to Neil Lennon.
Can I have that in writing?
Yes, you can. You can have him. Next time I'm talking to him, which is never, you can definitely take Neil Lennon out of that. So why then, Jo? Or first of all, Jo, how do you know Iain?
Through Twitter.
Just through Twitter? And
just through Twitter.
Are you members of Celtic supporters clubs anywhere, or how did this all kick off?
Originally kicked off with Iain and Tracy, who lives in Blackpool but is also Scottish, having a joke about it, about having a convention and doing something in Blackpool for Celtic fans to get together. I was off work at the time and sort of joined in the conversation, and we put the question out to the people that were on Twitter that afternoon, how would they think about having a convention somewhere. The response was quite high straight away, so we went away and done some homework on it and decided why not.
And are you a wee bit nervous?
Just a tad. I've done a lot of charity nights. Normally that's my thing. I've done a lot of big charity nights in Glasgow, be it Celtic orientated, helped at the Philadelphia one last year, do the Tommy Burns one usually with the Wakes and the Amadans. They try and do something every year to raise money. So done a lot of things that way and thought, well, why not have something here or something in the UK where we could raise a bit of money for charity and just bring the fans together and have a laugh.
And we'll come back to the charity aspect of it later on. So, Iain, you get strong-armed into this? Is that what Joe's telling me?
Well, a wee bit, but I mean, I was very willing contributor, so I thought it was a great idea. And I wasn't sure how feasible it was straight off the bat, but like Joe said, her response to it was really positive, so we thought, well, let's make it happen.
And when did this all start?
Basically, like we sort of covered, Joe was saying it was like a bit of a joke between myself and Tracy on Twitter. It was like a joke that let's turn Blackpool green and white, and like I say, the response was pretty good, so we thought, well, what the hell, so we'll just do it.
So both of you have thrown out this name Tracy. Who's Tracy?
I'll let Joe cover that one.
Tracy McBrider, she's on Twitter as well. Green Up Girl who is married to an Englishman living in Blackpool, and I think it's a bit homesick now and again. So we thought we'd take the green and white down to Blackpool. Aye,
instead of her coming to far-flung places, you all come and visit her.
Well, why not?
Hope she's got a big house.
Well, we've said that to her. She's moving this next weekend. I think she's trying to move away.
All right, so tell us some of the festivities you have planned. First of all, the dates. Give us the dates first.
Kicks off on Friday the 21st of September. First gig is in the Catholic Club in Blackpool. Starts at 7:30, and we've got the Rhines, who most will know is a local band for just outside Blackpool. Are based outside Blackpool at the moment, so they're kicking the gig off, with the possibility of maybe doing a live broadcast that night from the gig as well.
Oh, fantastic.
Saturday night is probably the bigger event. That's in the Hilton. Same sort of thing, 7:30 kick-off. We've got the Wakes and Damadans both coming down for Glasgow that night. And then the sort of finale being the Sunday night. And again, it's the Ryans that are doing that. And again, back in the Catholic Club that way.
So we've got music on the 3 nights that you mentioned there. There are cover charges to get in, right?
Yeah. Tickets are on sale. Friday and Sunday nights are £6 a ticket, and the Saturday night is £12 for the ticket.
So the money that's raised then, or the profits that you've raised for this, I'm assuming will go to some charity of some description. Is that true?
Yeah, it is, yes.
And what charity is it going to?
There's been a charity set up which is through Beat Blood Cancer, which was set up for Stilian Petrov. You probably see the hashtag on Twitter of Pedal for Petrov, where it's 2 Aston Villa masseurs are doing a sponsored cycle from Celtic Park down to Villa. And we sort of joined up with them to give the profits that's made from the actual gigs and the raffle that we hold at the gigs to them to sort of give the money to blood cancer.
Believe it or believe it not, this sounds like a bit of a coincidence. I actually went up with a few pals of mine on Saturday to watch Aston Villa against Everton, and they made a whole big deal about the two boys with the two masseurs, the two masseurs cycling all the way from Celtic Park, and they had photographs in the programme, and God, the programme was practically green and white, never mind claret and blue. Yeah. Pity they give Paul Lambert so much abuse at the end of the match, but anyway, that's a whole different story. All right, so That's a Friday, the Saturday and the Sunday nights. Has there been anything else arranged during the day, or is that just an opportunity for people to enjoy Blackpool itself and go and see the Pleasure Beach and all that kind of stuff?
We had sort of put out some things to say, did people want anything for during the day? But a lot of the people were either, one, already gone down, or two, making it a family trip. So feedback was more, they would rather be able to do their own thing, providing we can give suggestions of where's good to go throughout the day. Obviously, Celtic are playing at home that day, so there is a few locations that will be showing the game down there. So if not, everybody's in Tracy's house.
And Iain, you get roped into this as well. Is this just because you've got two glamorous girls twisting your arm?
Definitely, aye. I mean, what can I say? What can I tell you?
All you can say is yes, like the rest of us, you know. You know what it's like when you're told to do something, you just do it, don't you?
Definitely.
Anything for the easy life.
So, Iain, have you been to any of the Celtic conventions before?
I've not been. I'm going to Vegas next year. I lived abroad for a wee while in Australia and New Zealand, so it was something that was kind of a wee bit out of my reach till I sort of come back to the UK.
Let me tell you something. See, if you go to Vegas next year, don't team up with those headbangers from Australia. They'll get you into all sorts of trouble. So they will. Trust me, they'll get you into all sorts of trouble.
You have a good night out with them, though.
You definitely get a good night, and next day out with them. That's for sure. But Joe, you've been, haven't you?
Yes.
And you've been to Vegas and Santa Ponsa?
Yep, Santa Ponsa, Benidorm, Vegas, done one in Canada many moons ago as well. I like my conventions. Preferably with sunshine, but Blackpool couldn't quite keep the sun out that long.
Look, you just never know. This might be the sunniest of the whole lot, so well. They make it up to 42 degrees, so it made Blackpool, never mind out bloody Las Vegas, eh? So you've got big boots to fill then, haven't been to some of those conventions, huh?
Definitely. Probably say best organised is definitely Vegas. I always think the boys over there do a fantastic trip of it. It's all well organised day and night, but should definitely be something I think will give the fans a chance to get together, be a good laugh across the board, and by all means raise a bit of money while we're doing it.
I always come away from every convention thinking that one's been the best one so far.
I've done that.
Yeah. You know, I know Vegas is something different, you know, but the San Francisco one we went to was absolutely terrific. So simply because it was San Francisco and there was tons of stuff to do, you know, like Alcatraz and you know things like that. So you've got Blackpool. I can't really imagine people doing much sightseeing in Blackpool. Are you?
The bars are open. The Pleasure Beach is open. I'm sure it'll be green and white.
You do know that there will be people that won't leave the Catholic club, don't you?
These things happen.
for 3 days. So you mentioned some of the bands that are coming down to play. How did you get in contact with them? Is that something that you've dealt with in the past?
The two bands for Glasgow I've worked with, helped at gigs and things that they've done before. Being a Glasgow girl, I do have the privilege of the band playing Glasgow every weekend, so normally go and see them. The Amadans, I've been friends with John Joe, the lead singer, for years. He plays with them, so pretty much that was the first shout I done, was check out if the bands could do it, because obviously there's a big festival in Bundoran as well, the same weekend. So I was pretty conscious as soon as we said September weekend that the bands would be getting pulled always, so had to make sure we bagged the bands and the best bands that we could.
Did you contact the club, and have the club done anything for the convention? This is a question I ask all the time. I'm only being mischievous.
As in Celtic?
That would be the club, yes.
They are aware that we're doing it. We sort of more sent them a message just to basically keep everything above board club-wise, that we weren't doing something we shouldn't be doing. Just to dot the I's and cross the T's. So they are aware that we are doing something, yeah.
And did they get back to you and give you their blessing kind of thing?
Well, just obviously the same as anything else, is very much good luck with what you're planning to do, keeping in mind that obviously can't have it as an official Celtic type event due to the fact that it's not run by the club. But other than that, yeah, it just seemed very... They know we're doing it.
Aye, okay. So is this a little sort of suck it and see kind of event? We'll see how it works out this year, and if it's a roaring success, we'll continue on in years to come?
Very much see how it goes. I think initially it did sort of run away straight away. It was very much high interest straight away. Probably that sort of blew us away at the beginning part of it. Even before we had any bands, with people looking for tickets, which was great. So I think it really will be, let's see how it goes. It could be something next year bigger and better, although we've got Vegas, so don't know. Ask us at the end of September.
You might just have to do it.
Sobered up.
Aye, maybe the end of October. But with Vegas sort of trumps everything, doesn't it?
Yes.
I know that even when I went to do some of the conventions in between Vegas, there wasn't just the same hype, but it was still so much fun. But with Vegas, everybody wants to go because it's Vegas and gives you an excuse to go gambling or do what you want to do in Vegas. That'll stay there, So, I mean, if you get a good success this year, I mean, maybe next year, maybe in 2 years' time, you might have another crack at it. So, how many tickets have you sold so far?
Very limited left now for the Friday, Sunday scenario, but that is a Catholic club, so it's a smaller gig. For the Saturday, I'd probably say there's about 250 gone already. So still about 200 to sell for that.
Right, okay. And are you still optimistic in doing that?
I think so, yeah. I was speaking to the bands that, on Saturday night when I was out, and they're getting a lot of requests now for tickets and things which they hadn't really got direct up until last weekend. So, yeah, I think we should still be able to get pretty much most of them away anyway.
And where would you buy a ticket for the event if you wanted to buy a ticket?
They can either meet myself and Iain pre-match at Celtic Park. Alternatively, Tim Land in the Gallagate has tickets on sale for us, as well as the Ryan's Band have got the tickets on their webpage. Which is?
www.ransband.com.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd try that out there. So if people want to contact either yourself or Iain, is it just through Twitter, Iain, or do you have an email address you want to put out there or anything like that?
Basically just through Twitter. There is an email address, Blackpool Celtic Convention.co.yahoo, something similar to that, but I can't remember, to be honest with you.
That's all right.
Anybody's ever emailed it, so it's always been through Twitter.
Okay, and I'll put the contact details up for the podcast and put it on the Lost Boys and HailHailMedia site and on our Facebook. One of the things that we done for the last convention was that we opened up a Facebook page, and for the North American Federation, we got so many people came and joined it right away, and even to this day, has been a huge success, and that was one of the contact points we used for selling the tickets. Just something you might want to think of in future years as well. I don't know if you've done that this year or maybe plan to do it for the next one, but that worked out really, really successfully for us,
Yeah, definitely.
So what about if you're not on Twitter? Are you putting it on any of the message boards or anything like that?
It is on Facebook as well. The Ryan's, they've obviously got their page on Facebook, so they've put almost like a convention page there. I think it's more an offspring of one of their own pages. I know that the bands, the Amadans and the Wakes have put it on theirs as well. And I think it's more on some of their little messaging sites that they do. For ourselves, I know that it's been mentioned on some of the other chat sites, but not via myself or Iain.
So that weekend, Iain, we have a match. Who's the match against that weekend?
It'll be Dundee.
And there, as you say, the Catholic Club will be showing it, and a few other places around Blackpool will be showing the game that day as well. That really adds to the atmosphere, I think, of a convention. I know that I've been at conventions when the World Cup's been on, and Ireland were in the World Cup, starting to show me age there a wee bit. When Ireland's in the World Cup, and just to get all the boys and girls together, to actually watch a match is brilliant. But to have them sitting watching Celtic, that's going to really add to it, eh?
Oh, definitely.
So the two of you obviously do travel up to Glasgow on a regular basis for the games. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And I live in Glasgow, so I'm right here.
Sorry, that's just a turn of phrase probably I'm used to saying now, So I wanted to talk to you a wee bit about the game at the weekend. Obviously we were away to Cali and came up trumps 4-2. Happy enough?
I thought it was a great performance after to myself, last week was a bit more worrying watching it. I think we came right out on Saturday with a determined attitude, and it showed straight away. There were a lot of chat before it, even on Twitter, people with the team being changed again, injuries, and was delighted when the players came out. Every one of them looked as if they wanted to fight in that game, and it paid off well.
So the team on Saturday was Foster, Matthews, Izagiri, Wilson, Mulgrew, Lustig, McCourt, Twardzic, Wanyama, Watt and Hooper. Some boys in that lineup had a few things to prove, didn't they?
Certainly did.
Were you surprised with the team that was announced?
To be honest, I quite like the fact that Lenny will do makeshift teams. I think very much his game is that he could put any 11 players out in that part and they should be able to play well together. And I think he's proven that well now. So to be honest, had the comment made to me a few weeks ago, picking Lenny's team could be like picking the lottery numbers, and it is similar to that. But no, I was actually quite pleased with the way they did perform for him.
Well, at least when he picks a team, it's not like Tony Mowbray, who you just threw the numbers up in the air and whatever one came down, that was the team that ran out in the pitch, you know. But I thought the one thing that struck me about the game was that even though there were a few new faces in there, or a few less regular faces, let's put it like that, the team didn't look too strange. I thought it clicked okay. It didn't look unusual.
No, I thought the partnership up front looked really natural, looked good, complemented each other really well. And I think that was a springboard for the strength of the performance.
There was a few question marks about Anthony Stokes after the match at the weekend, wasn't there?
In what regard?
Well, the very fact that Watt came in and done so well, and I read a few different threads on some of the different message boards about whether to play Watt instead of Stokes, even if Stokes was fit.
Aye, I mean, well, personally speaking, I'm not a huge fan of Stokes. He does have a good understanding of Hooper, but I question his appetite at times and his attitude. So I think with Watt being so young, he's hungry, he's keen to please the management. So I think it looks good with him and Hooper.
He's still young though, isn't he? I mean, I think he's still got a long way to go.
He's definitely raw, aye.
You know, and I am a bit of a Stokes fan. Anybody who listens to the podcast knows that. I think it's a bit early days yet to be sort of questioning Stokes, because I mean, I think he rarely lets us down. Doesn't always score, of course, but I think that I would still choose Hooper and Stokes as my favourite two strikers.
I would tend to agree, and I'm a sort of must-win game. You would go with the tried and trusted, but a young kid's good option to have off the bench, definitely.
So yeah, and apart from the strikers, you know, obviously Samaras didn't make the bench, Stokes didn't make the bench. Introducing young Twardzic, hope I pronounced that right, and bringing McCourt in. Again, bit of a brave move from Lennon, but it worked, didn't it? Definitely.
Both good football players, good vision. I thought they pulled the strings well.
And of all the 4 goals, I thought all 4 were pretty good. The game was very comfortable, wasn't it? 4-2 looks like it was a tighter game than what it was, but the match was over and done with, wasn't it, by even half time, I thought?
I think we were poor to lose the goals. It was just unfortunate. But I thought very comfortable. Probably one of the best games I've seen in Inverness for a long time. Probably one of the few where we've not looked nervous as we started.
Aye, because it's bloody awful going up there, isn't it? Did you just make it up to the match, or did you watch it on TV?
I was TV this week.
I was TV this week. I'm trying to recuperate the sore leg for next week.
Should I ask you about having a sore leg, Joe, or is that a story you don't want to divulge?
Oh, I think most people Twitterize know it. I've had the luck of breaking my ankle twice within 4 months and then getting it operated on. So yeah.
Bloody hell, girl!
At the moment, just.
I hope your dancing shoes fit for the end of the month.
They'll be fine in Blackpool.
At least you have something to null the pain.
There's enough vodka, you don't feel the pain.
So that on Saturday sort of set us up nicely for the return leg of the European match on Wednesday night. I would imagine that the team on Wednesday will be a lot different from the team that ran out the weekend. Oh,
definitely. I think there'll be quite a few changes on Wednesday night.
Are we a wee bit ahead of ourselves, thinking that this tie's done and dusted?
I think if we start Wednesday the way we started the game last week, we're fine. If we come out with one attitude, we come out determined that we're going to get something from it, then we'll be fine. We should clear it up by half time. It should be ours. I think if we come out complacent and the team come out thinking we've won this, that's when we need to worry.
The only thing that worries me is, as my daddy put it, there's only one team in the world can blow this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's us.
I think on Wednesday the first goal's massive. If it goes to them, a bit of nerves will creep in. But I think if we get in front, I think that their heads will go down, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we're 2 goals up with 2 away goals. One more goal, the whole tie's done, isn't it?
I would say so, aye.
Yeah.
Full house expected on Wednesday. It'd be nice to see sort of European football of that calibre back at Celtic Park again. And if all goes to plan going into the Champions League, we didn't really see this coming, did we?
I think at the end of last season it was seen as a bit of a dream for some people. It was very much, I think, they wrote us off, and that includes some of your own fans at the end of last season wrote us off for this, but I like when we prove people wrong.
I would probably have to put my hand up and say I might have been one of those people. I didn't really expect us to get to the I know I'm ahead of myself here, expect us to get to the group stage of the Champions League, and I told Jerry that, and Jerry was very surprised. But I don't know why. But maybe the expectations that I've had over the last lot of years have dropped significantly to a sort of saw us in a Europa League type scenario. But to get to the knockout stage, or to get to the group stages of the Champions League, is absolutely fantastic. It's a dream come true, isn't it?
Oh, it's massive, aye, definitely.
I mean, everything just seems to be going our way this season, and it sort of vindicates the decision to send the other crowd down to the 3rd division, doesn't it? I mean, no, the whole league and the whole atmosphere hasn't lost anything with Rangers not in it, sure it hasn't.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. The team that have no bus. No, I'm as excited for every match as I've ever been, and I didn't know if I was going to be or not, and I really haven't missed them.
They weren't worth missing.
What about you, Ian? How do you feel?
Well, I would say definitely if we get the group stages, I mean, that Rangers games are more than covered for this season, for excitement. And Champions League nights, as everybody knows, are fantastic at Parkhead, so I think that more than compensates if we can get into the groups.
Well, I'll tell you what, I would take Champions League nights any day of the week than games against them.
I'd join you on that.
You know, it's just more fun. It's more exciting. There's not all the bile that goes with, all the trappings that comes whenever they visit Celtic Park. You know, I just love European nights, and it's one of the things that you always. You know, you look forward to the Rangers match in the calendar for sure. You know, you did do that. But if you were guaranteed, 4 home games and 2 of them are going to be, probably 2 of the biggest teams in Europe, you can't really scoff at that. You can't.
The atmosphere at a Champions League game is immense when it's in full swing. When you've got the stadium in full swing behind it, as soon as you hear the tune, that's it.
See, that's all I want.
Atmosphere for the whole evening.
I just want a wee opportunity to play the tune again on the podcast. So realistically, what are our expectations from the game on Wednesday, and if we get through that into the Champions League?
I think we've got to be looking to finish minimum a 3rd in the group. Hopefully continue European football into next year. I think that would be seen as a success, considering we're a top 4 team this year.
I'd go with that, definitely. I think we just need to keep the confidence there as well. That makes a big difference. When we come out at the start of a game looking confident, we do more with it.
So that's everybody's heart speaking. What do our heads say, though?
We need to see the draw first if we make it.
So, I hope I'm not being presumptuous, but I'm thinking that we are expecting to go through on Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
And if we do that, well, as you say, we go into the 4th pot, which means it's going to be far from easy. It's going to be far from pleasant, probably at some stages too. But I mean, even if you do get to that stage, you saw against Real Madrid. I know it was only a friendly, but Celtic in the second half against Real Madrid and parts of the first half, they played okay. They held their own a wee bit, and I think even with the more pressurised situation of a Champions League game and it being at Celtic Park, the boys could sort of up their game, and they won't embarrass themselves. That's what I'm probably trying to say,
I think they can give anybody a game. When the stadium's full, got the crowd behind them, and the tails are up, I think they can give anybody a game. So, even Real Madrid, it's the one team I'd like to see at Parkhead in competitive football. Seen Barcelona a few times, Man United, so it'll be nice to mix it up a wee bit this time.
I'd hate to see Real Madrid. I think that'd be horrible. I just don't like Real Madrid. I don't like the whole thing, the whole Real Madrid thing. I just don't get that. I don't like the way they keep getting bailed out. And no, I've no love for Real Madrid. I hope I never see them again, personally speaking. But I understand what you're saying, because we've seen Barcelona a few times. We've had Bayern Munich, we've had Manchester United. I don't know if I'll tell you what I wouldn't mind a rattle at Man City.
Yeah, Man City.
That'd be a pretty fun game.
I would like to see us against an English team, because I think we sort of owe English teams right now because of everything that went on this year. And since I moved to England right now, it's just to get it up them. Because I work with guys here that are fans of different teams and all the rest of it, and they have absolutely zero interest in Scottish football and have no respect for Celtic or Rangers or anybody right now. And I just think that it would be fabulous for Celtic to get one of the English teams, just to have an opportunity to stick two fingers up at them,
I think that was the one good thing the road to Seville did do, because I was working down south at that point in time, and it was fantastic to know the run-up to it of the whole Battle of Britain, round 1, round 2, and they thought Celtic were getting blown out the water and couldn't believe when we took victory both times round, and that to me was fantastic, and I think we gained quite a lot of fans at that time for down south.
Yeah, and especially the very fact that in the 4 games, right, 2 home, 2 away, we didn't lose any of them.
No.
And even Mr. Souness at Celtic Park with his men against boys sort of comment, I think that was the best thing that could have happened to Celtic.
But that drives Celtic, and that's always driven Celtic. We usually prefer to go in as the underdog and then take triumph, as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And even the Liverpool game, when it was a draw at Celtic Park again, you just thought, maybe our chance is gone here. But down at Anfield, Celtic weren't out of their depth. They were brilliant that day.
Yeah, they've been out in that park as if the park was set for us. It was our platform that night, and probably one of the best games that will stick in my mind out of that whole campaign. The atmosphere was one that was immense. The fans, even the fans down there, it was a party atmosphere for the minute we got there, till I got home 2 days later. I had an accident where I missed my bus. But even the game, everything about it was set up for us to get right through that. And I think we just proved so many people wrong with what their opinions were.
I think that was one of the things about the whole Seville run. When Rangers made it to the UEFA Cup, they didn't play very many glamorous teams. They played, Fiorentina. Yeah, they played Fiorentina. But they didn't play. We played Blackburn, we played Liverpool. I just thought that really added to it. Well, that was brilliant.
The Battle of Britain's good when we win.
Do you want me to make you feel old now? 12 years ago today.
6-2.
Aye. Unbelievable. But Harper that does the HailHailMedia, he texted me that today. First thing this morning I woke up, I was like, you just want to feel old? 12 years ago today was a 6-2 game. That was a wee bit of a JFK moment, isn't it? Everybody remembers where they were that day, That was absolutely fantastic. All right, so going back to the convention. So you've talked about the bands, and you talked about what sort of charity you're doing and all the rest of it, and numbers. Where would you hope to bring the convention after this year? What would your goals be in terms of numbers or attracting people and things like that?
Don't know if venue wise. I think really at this point in time it's just seeing if we can make it work, seeing if we can get some money there charity wise, and making a go of it. It's what the clubs we've always done. There's always thousands of fans doing something for charity, so I just think it's a good time for us all to come together and do it. If it's a success, then maybe a couple of years' time try to do something similar, maybe somewhere else. Quite a few people says, why not do something in Glasgow? Technically, you could do something any weekend in Glasgow. Bands are playing everywhere, so I would say, don't know, somewhere UK-wise, I think very much there's a lot of fans out there that can't travel too far a distance, that can't go to the ones abroad. So ideally, I'd love to have something that can bring people together that can't always go further afield.
Is Blackpool not really a Celtic type of town?
Blackpool has a dark side to it, yes.
We're going to cleanse it.
The dark side do have regular functions in that neck of the woods. What I would like to say is, very surprisingly, I did contact them, keeping everything in a nice mode, and actually they were very, very helpful at trying to give us where could hold numbers and...
Wait a minute. Who did you contact? The Rangers Supporters Club?
I did, yes.
Jeez, that was very brave of you, so it was.
If the worst came to the worst, I could bat the eyelashes and wave the blonde hair and hope for the best.
Usually,
that's why we didn't let Iain do that. No, we contacted them more just because I know that they do have regular functions. The last thing that we'd have wanted to do was clash, because that would have just been the Battle of Britain in Blackpool. And quite a few people swimming in the Irish Sea. So, but very much no, the guys that replied were very helpful, offered if we needed assistance in arranging things or having things sorted out. By all means, I did decline all offers, but they were good enough to offer.
Joe, you don't know if they're good offers yet or not.
Well,
you're only taking their word for it.
They're enough to take me up on it either, so... They just had a crazy girl from Glasgow emailing them.
I think the last time I phoned a Rangers Supporters Club, I was celebrating. But yeah, that's always been my impression about Blackpool, because I think there's wee men in funny hats and stuff go marching there too, isn't there?
Oh, I think there's up until a few years ago there was a couple of Celtic supporters clubs down there as well. I believe there's still one main club down there just now, but there always was a few to both sides. And sure, half of Glasgow lives down there, or half of Glasgow's ancestors on Blackpool now. So
what you're really telling me is don't worry, to trust you, everything will be okay because you've contacted the Rangers Supporters Club?
No. But we're Celtic fans, we go anywhere. We've been to the worst places and had fun.
So they didn't offer to come along and join in or anything, did they?
No, I think that might have just been too far out of their comfort zone. In fairness, they were just giving us places that could hold numbers, or offered to get some contact numbers for places that could hold more than like 100 people, or in fairness, the places that we've then booked weren't what they'd actually given us. Don't think the Catholic Club was high up on their list. But it was at least nice of them to give us places that we may not have found, being the fact that none of us are from Blackpool. And it was just good to feel that there was actually, that they'd sent me some numbers and some ideas of places. So yeah, it might have probably been half sabotage. We'd have probably walked in and there'd have been a few wrong things in walls, but that's why we've got Tracy to go and check places out.
Oh, is she going on undercover now, is she? Poor Tracy.
She's undercover agent.
It's alright for you two to be on here bleating on about what a brilliant job you've done. Poor Tracy's down there on the front line, so she is. Probably getting dogs abuse all over Blackpool.
We've only sent her to a few places.
Just as long as you didn't sell any of the Rangers guys any tickets or anything, because you'll never get the money.
No.
That was too easy a shot there, wasn't it? That was pretty sad.
That could have been too much entertainment in the one night.
Aye, might have been. Very good, very good. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to try and get up on the Saturday night, work permitting, and at the minute that's what I plan to do, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be great fun. And you know what? It's about time there was a convention here in the British Isles, you know. I can't even say it. Am I allowed to say the British Isles? I don't know if I am or not. What can I say there? It's about time there is a convention closer to home. How's that? That's better, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah.
I'll get hung, drawn, and quarters if you use terms like that when I go back home. Very good, very good. Well, Iain and Jo, all the best of luck to you, and I hope it's a roaring success, and I hope you make plenty of money for charity. What do you expect? What would a success be?
To be honest, anything that's, I would say, well, homework coming together, and if everything sells the way it should after paying venues, etc., minimum of £1,000 there. My work's also offered to sort of sponsor me while I'm doing it, which means they should either match or double what we managed to make as well, which would be fantastic.
That's super.
So definitely would tie up to be a successful weekend if we can get £1,000 and they can either double it or come that bit more would be great.
Super. That sounds fantastic. Well, look, all the very best of luck to you, and I think it'll be smashing. The 3 nights you have organised sound like great fun.
I'm sure there will be. Can't wait.
And the very fact that the proceeds are all going to charity just makes it even better.
Yeah.
So look, lads, all the very best. I hope to see you on Saturday night. That you want to give us the details again about the dates and stuff?
The Friday night is the Blackpool Catholic Club, £6 entry, and that is the Ryan's Band. The Saturday is Blackpool Hilton, has £12 entry, and that is the Wakes and the Amadans. And the Sunday is back to the Catholic Club, has another £6 entry, and it's the Ryan's Band again.
And we're going to all stay at Tracy's house for £2.50.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as we take her a glass bottle of Iron Brew, she's fine.
Guys, thanks very much for joining me today. That was super.
Thank you.
And
thanks
all the very best, and hope it works out for you. Don't be strangers now, and I'll see you on Saturday night.
Great.
See you
Thanks
soon.
a lot.
Bye.
Cheers now.
Great. Thanks
Bye.
a lot.
So there's our lads and lasses, that's us for another week. Not very much on the outro this week, apart from check out HailHailMedia.com. Yes, that's all one word, HailHailMedia. And that's where you'll find all the podcasts and all the blogs from Lost Boys and Homeboys and everybody else. Also look out for the big banner at the match on Saturday. There'll be a Hail Hail Media banner flying in Celtic Park, hopefully. And if you see it, take a photograph, send it to us, and we'll put some of them up on the site. So there we go. We'll probably have a podcast next week again, talking about all things Celtic, and we'll see where that goes. My name's Chris McGuigan. You're listening to www.LostBhoys.com. Playing as usual, Charlie and the Boys, and the Song of a Lonesome Boatman. Talk to you all soon. Cheers.